Nice lines. Great bottom end. The Shelby GT500. 1967 was the year. Overwhelming power in a Mustang package, and just about everybody was singing the praises. And 40 years later, it's the same old song. Here's the 2007 Mustang Shelby GT500. Oh, not a lot of tech in the cabin. A whole bunch under the hood. Now, in this day and age of high-tech motors with all their electronics, direct port injection, fussy valve trains, we don't talk as much about big blocks. But that's about to change, because this is a big block. Let's build this engine up from the bottom. We start off with the iron block from the 5.4-liter Ford truck engine, the Triton V8. Strong, simple, proven. Then they add on to that I-cross-section connecting rods, aluminum pistons, cap it off with the heads from the Ford GT, which are dual overhead cam, 4 valves per pot, and then crown it with this guy here. Here's the key. A Roots-type supercharger from Eaton blowing 9 psi at peak. They give it the name GT500 for a reason. 500 horsepower, 480 foot-pounds. So what's it like on the road? Well, what do you say to 500 horsepower? It's enough. A bunch of torque, too. That 480 foot-pounds is a big part of the story. And even though there's a supercharger in there, you're so overwhelmed by the amount of power and torque you've got that you don't really sweat it. Now, where does all that power and torque go? It goes here. A Tremac 6060 gearbox. 6-speed manual. It's your only choice. No automatic on this car, thank God. You've really got 4 forward street fighting gears on this guy, and then 5 and 6 are overdrive. 5's a mild overdrive. 6 is really tall. It's like a .63 or something. It's a good feeling gearbox. Stout. Not as crisp as many others I've driven, but it gets the job done. So what stops this thing? Well, you got a big pair of Brembo discs up front, 14-inch. In the back, standard Ford gear, the discs there are 11.4-inch. In other words, big plates all around. Okay, let's get to the interior, which is normally where we start these videos, but there's not a lot going on in this car. First of all, the instrument panel has a little different font in the Shelby, a little more modern instead of that retro 60s font that Ford puts on the other Mustangs. And you may have also noticed the speedo and the tach change positions on this car. The tach's on the right. Ford says to get it closer to the gear shift so it's easier to flick your eyes back and forth during high-intensity driving. Now, I don't look at my gear shift when I shift, so I'll categorize that as good marketing mythology. Let's move on to the entertainment system. This car comes base with the Shaker 500. That's a 500-watt system, very bass-oriented, 6-disc in-dash CD changer with MP3 ability. Sirius is available as an option on top of this system. You have an aux jack back here in the console with a power outlet right by it. You do also have the option of a Shaker 1000 audio system, which is better speakers, 1,000 watts, hence the name, and a couple of subs. Now, of course, a car like this doesn't offer a navigation system. Or does it? Interesting bit of mythology out there that indicates if you order one of these with option code 58X, you could get Ford to build in the touchscreen navigation system. It's a standard Ford unit that can go in that hole. Now, whether the factory can do it, some sources show that the code is a valid order code for this car. Others say it's not. This is kind of cute. You've got variable dash instrument lighting. By hitting these buttons right here, you can do red, white, green, red, white, and blue. Also, the SVT logo in the tach serves as a shift light if you enable it, and you can set the shift point on the menus here as well. So what does it cost to get into a Mustang that does 0 to 60 in 4.9? Not much. $40,009 is the base on a Shelby GT500. On top of that, you've got a $1,300 gas guzzler tax. Sorry, folks. $200 for Sirius radio on this guy. $1,300 more for the 1,000-watt audio system if you want it. And then, of course, the mystery option. Can you do nav on this car for $2,000? Remains to be seen. All in about $43,700, though, the way we're driving it today.
For more video like this, go to cnet.com and click on CNET TV.